Hey Kyra, this is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Thanks for your email. I'm going to take a look at those three tickers that you sent me. I'm just going to do one video for each ticker just so you have each one individually. And we're going to start with DRN, which is the directional real estate fund that you had sent me. So we got to look at this guy a few different ways. We're going to start in the very long term and zoom in from there and see what we can figure out about this guy. So here is the very long-term chart of DRN. It was incepted in 2009. It kind of looks like it was incepted somewhere in the middle of its Elliott wave pattern, so it's kind of hard to figure out where it is in its big long-term advance off the 2009 low. The one thing we can tell from the pattern that we do see on this chart is that pretty much every up leg that's taken place since its inception has been trendy, and every pullback has been a counter trend move. So generally speaking, that looks pretty bullish. But what we're actually going to do is take a look at IYR, which I think is it's a more popular real estate fund. It's not a leveraged fund like DRN is, but it gives us a pretty good idea of the longer term pattern which we can't see on this chart since it was just incepted in 2009. So here's a chart of the IYR, and if we plotted the two against each other, they follow pretty much the exact same path, but this gives us a little bit more perspective when we zoom out like this. So when we look at the IYR pattern, we see in 2009 it began a really big trendy up move that doesn't appear to be done yet. It's been in a pullback since 2015. This pullback looks like a counter trend move. Overall, we think the uptrend will continue once this pullback ends. So with that in mind, let's get back to DRN. So we get back to DRN. This zooms in on the pullback. Like I said, it looks like one big counter trend move. It's one big fourth wave counter trend pullback. If we're being real honest with ourselves, it looks like this counter trend pullback probably is not done yet. My guess is that it is in the B wave of the correction. It's a three-wave corrective move, like all corrections are. It looks like we're probably somewhere in the B wave right now. So let me kind of translate that into English for you. What that means to me is we think DRN is probably heading back towards the October 2015 high around 80, at which point we would expect it to turn back down, form a larger counter trend pullback before the uptrend resumes. So immediately we think it's probably going to continue higher. Could be worth a trade if it heads up to 80 from here. That's a pretty healthy move, over 20%. From there we expect it to turn back down and continue the pullback. We can get a general idea of where it might end just by looking at the standard retracement zone, this yellow area, where we expect this entire pullback to eventually end. Basically, this just tells us that the pullback is likely to end somewhere above 45 before the uptrend resumes and things head up from there. So in the short term, again, looks like it could head a little bit higher back towards 80, at which point we would expect the counter trend pullback off the early 2015 high to continue, at which point the uptrend will resume from there. So just depends on your time frame how you want to trade this. If you want to do aggressively trade it in the short term, you can. You can trade this up move. You could probably put a stop around 60 for now and trail it as it moves back towards 80, and then look for the larger pullback and then the long-term uptrend to resume from there. So hopefully that's helpful. Look for your other two tickers shortly, and have a great day.